Adam Friedman, Rivals.com, here with big time offensive lineman Jake Guarnera. Has a top five list that you just put out. Why did you decide that now was the right time to release your top five, Jake?
I kind of gotten to the point where I've seen a ton of schools and I've kind of figured the top couple schools that I want to pursue in my recruitment, and those are the ones I feel comfortable with right now.
Okay. So the list is Rutgers, NC State, Florida, Penn State, and Michigan. Let's talk about each of those briefly here. The first one I mentioned was Rutgers. So why did Rutgers make the top five?
Yeah, so they've been consistently recruiting me since I've been offered by them. They've hit me up every week, sometimes twice a week. My dad also played there, 91 to 95, and I really like the direction Coach Shiano has the program going in terms
Mhm.
of culture wise, and I think they'll be a pretty good team in the next couple of years.
Sounds good. What's that relationship like with Coach Shiano?
Good. Just one thing was a week ago, we went on a little Zoom call, and like I wasn't really expecting Coach Shiano to be on there, but he was on there for 5 to 10 minutes, checking in on me and all that. So I mean, it's really impressive to see that the head coach is such a big part in the recruiting process because some of the other schools you don't really get to talk to the head coach as much.
Okay, sounds good. NC State was one of the schools that made the top five. Why did they make the cut for you?
Yeah, so I've been there like 7 or 8 times. I have a great relationship with all the staff members and some of the offensive line players. So I already have a couple of people I know in the offensive line room in terms of being up there so many times and just being really familiar with the place. Also love the Raleigh Durham area, and NC State just put two, or they put sorry, what's his name?
Icky Aquana,
Icky.
yeah.
Yep, they put Icky in the league, and they're gonna have a couple other draft picks coming up here in a few years. So that's really impressive to see their development on the offensive line stage.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Florida, the only in-state school that made the cut here. Why did the Gators continue to stay in contention?
Yeah, just the proximity to home, and they're in the SEC. I also really like the culture they have going there. They're about to get a really good recruiting class, the 24 class, and they just got a really good recruiting class in the 23. So the future is really bright for their program, and the proximity to home really helps it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Penn State is in this top five. You just took a visit up there. What kind of momentum does Penn State have right now in your recruitment?
Yeah, I was really impressed by the visit. Got to see family because my family lives on Long Island. They have a house 2.5 hours away from Penn State, so it really it really would be a home away from home if I went there. Coach Trotwine and Coach Scott do a great job of developing the offensive line. Taking control of the meetings. Coach Trotwine keeps it really interactive. I think they have some great pieces on the offensive line right now, and I would be a great addition to the line coming in and possibly playing my redshirt freshman year.
Okay, so they really laid out the plan for you. It sounds like, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now they've got a little bit of momentum on the recruiting trail right now. Does that play any factor in your decision? I know that a decision could be coming relatively soon, but what is it? I mean, they've gotten a few commitments here recently, and it sounds like some more guys are pretty close to announcing their commitment there.
Yeah, it really helps because you want to be playing with the best players, and you want to win national championship. That's the ultimate goal. So, I
Mhm.
mean, if you have a bunch of other great players surrounding you, it makes your job a lot easier.
Sounds right. And we could say the same sort of thing about Michigan too. They've been getting a lot of big time players on the recruiting trail fairly recently. They're the fifth team in your top five, the fifth team that we need to talk about, I guess, not in order.
hmm
But when you talk about the Wolverines, what are some of the things that really stand out to you when you think about that program?
just their development of offensive line. They've put a
Mhm.
lot of guys in the league the past couple of years, and back to back Joe Moore awards. Coach Moore is a great developer, really great coach, family guy. So I mean, he'd really help with the transition there. Same with Luke and Ben, two of my good friends that are committed there, um, and that would just really help me transition into a life there in college, far away from my home.
Mhm.
Kind of knowing people going in and having a good relationship with them really helps.
Sounds good. All right. So when do we think that you're gonna announce a commitment and really put an end to this recruiting process?
I'm planning a commitment April 28th at 5 p.m. in my school auditorium.
Okay, sounds good. And why did you any significance to that date? Is there any reason for that one?
The only date that works. You know, I was trying to figure out a date with my AD. It was just a little difficult to get one, so I wanted to get one a couple weeks away from when I announced my top schools. Give me a couple weeks to think about it, and I'm ready to finally make my decision.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, do you have any visits lined up between now and then, or are you just going to be hanging out at home thinking about this decision?
No, I'll be with my family thinking about my final decision.
All right. All right. Sounds good. Well, Jake, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on this next step in your recruiting process, and we're looking forward to that decision date.
Yes, sir. Thank you.